Hello, my name is Daniel Rock, and I'm an education specialist with the Georgia Department of Education.
I'm Courtney Bean, and I'm a second grade teacher at Settlesbridge Elementary School.
And we are thrilled to be back here at Settlesbridge Elementary in Forsyth County, Georgia, where we are going to be talking with Courtney about how she teaches writing to second graders. In this series, we have gone to all kinds of different classrooms, and Courtney, we are so glad to be here to talk about your class.
Thank you.
When you sat down at the beginning of the year and decided you were going to really focus on narrative writing in the first semester, what were some of your big goals for your students?
Ultimately, I wanted my students to be able to craft their own narrative writing piece that included a beginning, middle, and an end. And I wanted them to be able to do that by the end of the 9 weeks without a prompt from me.
Why was that important?
Oftentimes, I think students are daunted by a blank page, and they won't write if they don't know how to begin. So I wanted to be able to give them that skill and that strategy. Life doesn't always come with a prompt.
No, it doesn't.
And so I wanted them to be able to come up with their own purpose and plan for writing.
Okay. What did that purpose look like, not that purpose, but that process look like in this course of the year? What were some of the major elements of instruction that you implemented to ensure that they were going to meet that goal?
I provided scaffolding along the way and more direct instruction in the beginning, and then I backed away a bit. I used mentor texts heavily because I think it's important for children to be able to analyze reading books as though they're a writer, not just as a reader.
Okay.
We did cover other grammar skills as well, and then ultimately we published those in various formats.
And you used a lot of conferencing as well.
Yes, very important.
And we're going to see how you used conferencing to really drive what your instruction looked like.
Exactly.
So in our first segment, or next segment, we're going to talk about how you use mentor texts.
Right.
Before we do that, let's take a look at a piece of student writing to get an idea of what the end looked like.
Okay.
And then we'll go back and see how we got there.
Okay. So this is a published book from a student in my class titled The Ferocious Dog Bite. And again, keep in mind we're looking for a solid beginning, middle, and end. And there was no prompt. She came up with this on her own. I lived in New York when I had a dog named Trooper. There was paper on the shiny floor, and he got some and ate it. I was only 4, so I did not know better. I thought that he would get sick and die from it. So I got up and tried to get it out of his mouth, but then he bit me on my wrist. So that's her beginning.
Okay. And let's hear her first paragraph.
Okay. So this is the beginning of her middle. I started to scream when my parents zoomed in and carried me into the car. I sat in my mom's lap in the front. I cried and cried the whole way. When we got there, I laid on the hospital bed. When the doctor came in, she or he asked my parents what had happened, and so my parents told him or her.
Excellent. What about that was strong, that really represented where you were trying to get them?
Well, I can see that she observed the bold beginning from the mentor text that we used in the way that she started her story, because she began with the setting, and we'd analyzed that in another story. She used wonderful words. There are lots of descriptive details.
Wonderful words instead of tired words.
Exactly.
That was a strategy that you taught.
Exactly.
Okay.
She has the grammar skills in place. She began with capital letters, ended with correct punctuation.
I see a variety of sentence structures.
Yes.
I see some when the doctor came in, so she has a variety of sentence starters.
Right, she began her sentences differently, exactly.
Okay, so that's some good work. So let's look at what you did instructionally to get the students there, starting with mentor texts.
Sounds great.